I wanted to make a quick video about some concepts I've been playing with. There's the Tesla Turbine, there's HHO, and there's Magnetohydrodynamics. Let's touch on each one of them really quickly, separately. The Tesla Turbine is it's like an impeller, kind of like this. We just have a bunch of blades in close proximity to each other. Air blows into these blades, spins the turbine, and air comes out in a way that accelerates the airflow. And Nikola Tesla believed that you could get a pretty high efficiency out of that. So by blowing air, you could get work done with 98% efficiency, or 99%, or some say even 100. Magnetohydrodynamics is when you have a magnet that is perpendicular to the flow of electricity. The magnetic field is perpendicular to the flow of electricity. So I built this Tesla turbine, both of these, so they would have an array of magnets. This one isn't filled up, so I get it from this side. And these array of magnets are perpendicular to the electrodes on either side of this assembly. And the idea is that if you have electrons flowing perpendicular to a magnetic field, and have that electron flow going through a fluid like water, then the fluid would move. So that's the second principle. The last principle is HHO. And for those of you that don't know, water can be broken up into hydrogen and oxygen just by applying a current. This is pretty simple. And you can have what's called neutral plates. So on the same assembly that I showed you for the Tesla turbine, you can have positive electrode on one side, negative electrode on the other side. And then each of these plates will equally separate the voltage across each plate. So if you start off with 0 volts and you got 12 volts on, or you have ground and 12 volts on one side, then the plates would separate that. So if you have, say, 6 gaps, you'd have 2 volts across each plate. And the minimum voltage that you need to perform electrolysis is, I think, like 2.3 or something like that. So the idea is that you can put a voltage across the positive and negative, and then use the neutral plates to get you more surface area. So those three concepts, HHO, Magnetohydrodynamics, and the Tesla turbine, seem to all go together because they all require the same, or actually with the HHO and the Tesla turbine, they require the same assembly. You need some discs spaced closely together. The only difference is now I made it so that those discs will rotate. So people who are familiar with Tesla turbines are familiar with that. People who are familiar with HHO are familiar with the plates being together. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody combine those two concepts, let alone the magnetohydrodynamics. And, you know, just to be able to play around with the phenomena that happens when you put those three together is just something I wanted to, you know, look at myself and play around with. I don't have a complete setup here, but I just wanted to, I do have a compressor, so we can at least get some spinning action. Let's see, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but here we go. this was initially at 100 psi in my compressor, and these blades are kind of, well, decent size. I think I got them at like 5 inches or something like that, and so they create a lot of inertia, and this thing spins for a long time. Not as long as I'd like, but longer than the smaller one. So acting as a Tesla turbine, this seems to be functional. On this small device, the smaller one, I tried making it so that I could apply the air pressure kind of, you know, transversely, so perpendicular to the alignment of the plates, and that didn't work out really well. So I kind of jerry-rigged this thing with some double stick tape just to see if it was working right. So let's see, I still got, it still looks like I have 100 psi in the compressor. So let's just turn this on, get this to spin. So functionally, as a Tesla turbine, it seems to be working. Now both of these have a lot of air leaks. I haven't completely sealed everything off. But yeah, so these are working. Now I also have this little high voltage thing that I use to test my leads, but it looks like I need a little bit more voltage in order to be able to get the charge to go across all of the plates. So let me turn this on. That's on. You can hear it buzzing. Now let's see if I can get at least one spark. There we go. Okay, so we're getting a spark across that one. Let's try it on the small one. This one's been a lot less. I have a big gap between one of the plates and one of the turbine impeller and the plates, so, or the end cap. So it might not work. Oh, there, one time. There we go. There. So now we know these are functional as far as having, being able to have a voltage go across from one side to the other, which means that we can do some HHO experiments also. Let's see. So that's the HHO. Now the Magnetohydrodynamics, that'll require some salt water or some electrolyte inside. That one's a little harder to show on video. So what I'd have to do is take one of these plates off and then fill it up with water, and then we could see it. But what I'm really curious about is what would happen when we have this either a high current, high power, high current on one of these things while the Tesla turbine is going, or a high voltage, low current going across each of these. So this is just the first video, and hopefully I'll be able to get some more experiments in soon, but I just wanted to introduce that topic. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you again, or talk to you guys again soon. Goodbye.